Hey everybody, welcome to MT Guitar. Hope you're doing well. Today we're doing Jeff Beck, Angel Footsteps. If you don't know by now, Jeff Beck passed away recently and it's been hard to process it. I know for me and for countless guitarists who grew up listening to him, I surely went through a massive Jeff Beck phase where I just couldn't get enough. And so I've been listening to him a lot this week, and there's been some touching tributes. Saw one from Brian May today of Queen, and just people coming out saying how there's no one like Jeff Beck. There's no one who played like him or plays like him. He sort of was always exploring, always creating something new. He never stopped growing and learning, and he was already incredible when he was in the Yardbirds in 1965 with Jimmy Page. So, you know, I spent like a whole evening with my brother and dad playing dominoes, and we listened to like 3 hours of Jeff Beck. And, you know, my dad and brother were completely blown away by the music. And this has always been one of my favorite songs. It's called Angel Footsteps, and it's off of the album Who Else? Exclamation mark, which released in 1999. I love this album, and I also love the album Jeff, which came out a couple years later. So, I mean, I love all his albums, but this is just such a sweet spot in his career for me. He's sort of combining these newer genres, such as techno and even drums and bass and whatever, and throwing it all with his magnificent style. So, this song uses a slide. I'm going to teach you everything up to the solo, and the chord progression is just exquisite. You know, I was talking with my dad and we were struggling to come up with the right words to describe the chord progression. It's like bringing you into a new world. And so, you know, I'm sort of at a loss, and that's probably appropriate. So we'll just jump on in. I will have this tapped out on the Patreon, and thanks to all the patrons there who make this all possible. Really appreciate it. And also remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon. Do me a favor and listen to a bunch of Jeff Beck this week, this month, this year, and watch his live clips on YouTube as well as listen to the studio albums. You know, you won't regret it. As a guitarist, there's no one like him. His use of the whammy bar, his use of the volume, not a volume pedal necessarily, but of the volume knob. It's just out of this world, and no one can really touch it. So we're going to do a slide lesson. I'm going to cover the basics about slide and how I approach it, as well as obviously all the notes of the song. So with that, let's jump on into this lesson. All right, so we've got two things to learn. One is the slide part, and the other is just the chord progression. You always want to know the chord behind the melody if you're playing lead, because that's how the melody is sort of relating to the song. So let's start with the slide. I put it on my third finger. Jeff would put the slide on his middle, I believe, which is interesting. I've never tried that. My teacher, Keith Allen, who was a guitarist in the early 90s for Steve Miller Band, he would always put it on the slide, which was just amazing. That's so he could fret chords and riffs while playing. So I do the ring. It's, you know, trial and error. It's different for everybody. That being said, you want to just, you know, try it out and see how you like it. All right, so actually before we get to that main part, there's just this intro over a C vamp, right? And so my interpretation of it was going all the way down from a super high C. So that's not literally the part, because the part is very produced with a lot of textures. So that was just my interpretation of the intro, is to start on the 20th fret, slide down to 15, then to 12, and then the 8. That's actually just a C arpeggio going down, descending. Okay, so you can just skip that. Really, the song starts at here. Okay, so when you're playing slide, you want to make sure that you're right above the fret, as opposed to when you're fretting a note with your finger. We want to be right near the fret, right? Good technique means right near the fret. If you're on top, you'll actually sort of mute the note, and if you're too far away, you get a real flat sound. So that's a different lesson, right? But when we're playing slide, because we're not fretting anything, we need to be right above the fret. Okay? And you have to use your ear. It's akin to like a cello player or a violin player where there's no frets. They're kind of using their ear. Not kind of, they are. So we have to use our ear as well as our eyes, right? My eyes aren't that great, so I have to use my ear. Okay? Now, another important thing is, you'll see Jeff Beck do this as well, is you have to mute every other string. It's just, if I don't, you know, it's like that willy-nilly sound. It's just, it's cool, it's psychedelic kind of, but it's not clean, right? So you want a clean tone for this kind of song, and you're putting your thumb on the string below and the two fingers in the strings above the string you're playing. And in this case, index finger is playing the third string, and everything else is muted, you know? So that's all you hear is that string. I do have a little gain on. Okay, that takes some time, so practice that. You know, so eventually you'd have that down to where you can play slide pretty cleanly. Right, so where the other strings aren't sliding around. And if you can get that really clean, it's quite fun. All right, so let's start the chorus here. Now that we've covered some basic technique, and you're going to start with 7 to 9 slide for 2 whole bars. Okay, you could vibrato a little bit, or just sustain it. Now, that's over the C major. We'll cover the chord progression later. Now we go 3 hits on the 8th fret, 3rd string, and I'm going to use my index finger and block it. Mute the 4th string with the thumb, first 2 strings with the 2nd and 3rd fingers. So I just want to hit the index over and over. Not something I recommend for fingerstyle, but for slide, it's all about cleanliness, really, because we don't want, because this is covering over all the strings. So we just need to keep everything in place and go those 3. Then we go 5th, 8th, 5th, 8th, 4th string, and then 7th fret. You can slide up to it. And then you can kind of slide down to finish the phrase. So that whole line, 3, 4. 3, 4, 2, 2. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Good. Now we slide up to a 5th fret. 2, 3, 4. And then 4th to 3rd fret, slide 4th string. Love that. Nice little kind of punctuation there. Now we do a little theme here. Right, so it's kind of like a theme. We go up 3 times on the 5th fret to 3rd fret, and then 7th fret. Okay. This time repeat it, and you can slide up to 9. Okay, now you can also, so now you're here, slide down. Now when you go, slide down to 7 and then up to 10. Then twice more. Now 6, 10, 10 on the 3rd string. And that's actually the entire first section of the chorus. Then it repeats up an octave. So let's take that entire chorus at that octave. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now we take everything up an octave. Be careful if you have light strings or low action or both. We don't want that, right? Sometimes you do, but usually not. So we want to be very light with the slide, right? So that we don't hear the fretting noise. So now we go 10 to 12. Again, for 2 bars. It's actually the same exact notes, just up an octave. So we can go through this here. 11 twice, or 3 times, I'm sorry. Then 8, 11, 10, 2, 3, 4. 13, slide up from 11. 2, 3, 4, 11, 10. 3, 4. Okay? So that would be 3, 4. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Good. Now we'll go up to 13 here. Same as before, you know, just up an octave. 11. This time go to 10 instead of going to 15. So we'll go. Okay, now 10 3 times. 8. 12 3 times. 10. 11 3 times. Sorry, 11. 13 3 times. Then 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string, and then you slap to 14. Okay, so that's, you know, from here. So 3, 4. Okay, might be tricky to mute, you know, the 3rd and 2nd string, because you need it muted by that. Then you slide up to 14. Now we go to the bridge. Okay, so beautiful stuff. Way up here, way up there on the fretboard. So 14, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, 14, slide, 15 to 17, slide. Hold it. 1. Okay, good. And then 15 to 17 again. 17 to 18, slide. And then hit it again. Then 15 to 14. Good. Now 15 to 18, slide. We'll review this in a sec. 16, 18 to 16, slide. 13 to 12, slide. And then sort of another key signature arises here, like in E minor. So let's cover all that from here. So ready? 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Good. Here we go. Sorry. 3, 4. Good. Home stretch here. Now we go 12, 12, 12, 12, 10, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 8, 8, 8, 8, 6, 2, 4. Hold it there, and then you're done. All right. Pretty tough stuff, so there's no easy way to do it besides getting comfortable with muting and intonation with the slide. So it's not like the notes themselves are hard, but the techniques are hard. And that's kind of hard to teach because you might have the right notes, but it's not sounding right. So that's something you just need to work. Now we're going to put the slide down and we're going to run this chord progression. What I did, to be honest, is I played the chords and I kind of sang the melody, hummed the melody. And that really helped sink in the song. So, always a good idea, okay? So we're going to run through these chords. So C major on the intro. And then when the chorus starts, down, 2 bars of C. Here's a C minor 7. Da, 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 da. It's kind of a wash of sound. So now D minor 7. Da, da. Back to C major here. da da da, B flat, F6, okay? I think I just did it like this. 1, 3, mute, 2, 3, da 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 da, back to C, da da da, now F minor, da 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 da, yeah, that's the low octave. Repeat everything, and I went ahead and just played it up, kind of up an octave as well, since the melody went up an octave. C minor 7, da, ba, ba, da, same chord progression. D minor 7, go here, I would say, da, da, back to C, here we go. Da, 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 B flat 6 this time, so just first string, 3rd fret, F6, da, da, to C, and then F minor, da, da, da. Here's the bridge, D, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we go to a C, 3, 4, and then a G, then a G, B flat minor, and then D. It sounds weird by itself, but that's the chords. F minor, here we go, F minor to C minor to B minor. Wild stuff. A minor, now E minor 9, okay, 7, 5, 7, 7. Back to A minor, and then E minor. Then D minor 7 flat 5, 5, 6, 5, 6 for 2 bars, then an A flat over C. Just amazing stuff. That's the chord progression, okay? I would play along with the recording with those chords. It's a great workout for your chords. Then the solo happens over C minor 7 for 2 bars, 2, 2. Then D flat major 9. Good chord to know here. 4, 3, 5, 4. And it just repeats probably about, I don't know, 8 times or so before it kind of spins out into the clouds. And then we have another chorus. So you can work your C minor pentatonic followed by D major. It's actually D major Lydian, if you know your Lydian mode, with the sharp 4. Right? So, you know, you can try your luck on the solo, and or just listen to Jeff's and sort of take some licks from him. There you go. Pretty tough, to be honest, to you know, do a slide song. So you could just fret the notes as well, and then work up your slide technique. Either way. So hopefully that works for you. It's kind of a tougher lesson to just throw a slide at you, but hopefully that works, and enjoy. Remember to listen to some Jeff Beck this week, and we'll see you next lesson. Bye.